run some super glue around the inside edge right there. Just go around like the whole way. And the reason it's the inside edge is because there's a lip on this. We're basically just trying to join them up, so we're just going to move them around. Make sure we're getting some glue all over everything. Alright, and we did want to put I like to put a magnet on the back and on the front of these things. So all we're going to do is same thing we've been doing real quick. And we just put a magnet on that one real quick. You know, obviously it doesn't take long, so there's no excuse not to do this. Alright, and then careful again not to push in the center where the grates are, because they're very delicate. But you can see now, we just attached that piece on there and we just made a new piece. And all that is now is, it's just a tiny bit longer. Like this is your stock piece, and two of these together is the exact height of like one of these. So if you take that one right there, it's probably tough to tell in the picture because of depth perception. That one is the same height. This one is just a little bit taller. It's one grate taller. But by making it that little grate taller, and again, we're just going to do the same thing where we take this right here, put a tiny bit of glue on, and then just let a magnet fall right into place there in the center. And that's good to go. And now we can take this piece, and it's good to connect on both sides. And now we've made that pipe in there so it'll fit perfectly between them. So that's our regular set. This is essentially the piece we just made right there, and this is the first piece that we made right there. And if we take these together, you see it's going to try to reverse polarity on the one side. That's how you know that's the side that goes into your pillar, and then the other side is the modified side. It's reversed from everything else on your board right there. So you're not going to be able to stick this right here. So you could essentially make this piece look different if you care about how this is going to go right here. But now, and that may not be clear, it's probably tough to understand, but essentially the difference is this is your pieces right here, which side it goes on and which side is open. So this side, let's just do the other one real quick because it's very difficult to explain. But basically we're going to take the other half of the one we just cut a minute ago, and I'm going to do the same thing one more time on that one. So I have my piece magnetized right here, and I'm just going to run a little bit of glue on the inside of this one. And it's, you know, you can make some of these pieces ahead of time or see what you need, or just kind of do them as you go. It's a little quicker obviously if you have a, you know, a bunch of just different pieces made, and you can just start gluing stuff when you want, but not just necessarily gluing everything right off the bat. You just start gluing it as you need it. So as you realize, like, there's certain configurations for the board and stuff that you're just always going to use. It's not a big deal if you have a couple little pieces together. You're still going to be able to separate it and do whatever you need with it when you need to. But you're always, you know, for instance, going to have certain pieces that you'll use or certain configurations. So now we created this. This is the second half piece right there. So this was the first half, and that's the second half. And they used to be one opposite. They were connected like this, and all we did was cut them in half and added in those two little pieces. But you'll see again, they'll connect to each other now, but they won't connect on that side because they're reverse polarity. So we can take this piece now and put it in. I'm sorry, this piece right here, and put it in. And then we take that piece right there. Man, did I just mess that one? Oh, this one's missing a magnet. I could not figure out what was going on right there. Okay, hang on. Maybe one more magnet right here. I wasn't getting that good pull. there. And then we have, this is the first one we made, and you'll see it has that little gap. So we put this little guy over there, fills that gap up. And then on the second one, just gonna pull that out of there, and we're just gonna swap in did mess that up. This one needs to be backwards. Hey yo. Please hold for technical difficulties. Alright, so I need one of these that has reverse polarity, or it's going to be sitting like that. So what I need to do is just grab one more. Man. And again, that's why I'm making these videos, is because you really do have to sort this stuff out, because it's confusing, and trying to like build all this stuff the first time correctly and make it so it all fits together and does what you're hoping it does, and you know, you're not ripping stuff back apart after it's been glued and painted and everything. You know, you basically have to experiment with this. And, you know, I'm doing it right here with you guys, honestly. So all we're going to do is just create one of these pieces, and this one's going to be made with reverse polarity to the rest of the sets that we have. So, and we know we did it right because they're pushing away from each other. And I'm not going to show you how I did this one. I'm just doing it exactly the same. But I just have a setup. I have another piece set up so I can reverse the polarity. And make sure that I don't like mix them up, basically. So there we have it now. So I'm just going to take this piece now, and I'm going to glue him into there. And that's going to create what we need. So alright, so there we got it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it is Necromunda, but you know, you want it to line up as good and flush as possible, so you're getting good connections between everything. And once you get it lined up pretty nice, if you need to, you can put just a little more glue, but I just try to add just a little bit of pressure, and there you see we have it nicely made. And now this one is going to go correct direction. And essentially all this was is because we had already magnetized them the other direction, and essentially this was like sort of a vanity step right here, to tell you the truth, because this is what I just made right here, and you can see, you know, it's got a little bit of like a thing going on over here, but the other one, if we take the other one that we have made here and basically take one of these, we're just going to recreate the same thing. This one, and then we need one that connects to the wall. And now you can see the actual difference. They're the same length, but this one right here has a bunch of these in a row, as where this one only has like the two little gap areas, as where this one kind of has like three. So again, it's not like a huge deal. And you could magnetize them however you want, so that's never an issue. But just because I had already magnetized that piece and then cut it in half, that's the only reason you're even going to run into that. But in the end, I mean, we did exactly what we were hoping for. We're going to take this between the two pillars, and if you just rotate everything until it sits flush inside here, it'll almost like stop rotating and click into place when it's in the right spot. And now there we have it. We have like our little gap filler guy, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on this one. And you hear it clicking right into place, obviously. And once everybody's happy where they're at, you know, you basically get the little conduits going across there. This guy can get out of the way. But now you have the ability to change between those however you want, whenever you want, and you know, connect the different ones to each other. And that's basically, you know, making up the gap with these. And now whenever you go to, I'm going to take just the pieces that we have now off of here. The cool thing about these is whenever you go to use these in the future, you know, what I'm planning on doing is painting the one that's like the reverse polarity connection just a little bit different in my Necromunda paint scheme, because right now I have everything going in one direction, one polarity. So you have, for instance, this is my standard pipe. You have this polarity here, which is reverse, and this polarity here, which is reverse. So this one has the same polarity on both sides. This one has reverse polarity because everything's in line. So this side will always connect, no matter which side it is, to all these pieces that I make. But it'll never connect to this side because of the reverse polarity. So now, knowing that, having that in mind, we're going to take this piece right here, connects right onto the end of that one there. Alright, and then next we have sorry, I'm just kind of setting this up how I like it. Alright, so there we got that going over there onto the back. And then you'll see, obviously, we gain a lot of our stability by connecting these to each other. So now it's resting not only on top of here, but, you know, it's also got the multiple pieces together connecting it. And now what we're looking to do is basically build some other stuff on here and see where we can end up spreading it around to. So we're going to take this little guy right there, and that's going to give us our turn. And then next what we want is we want some straight pipes coming out of there. So we're going to take our two little pieces that we made off of here, and we can basically take our pipe and put it back together now. This is the one we cut in half, but the difference will be now that we have those extra little bits on the end, because if we didn't cut it, we wouldn't have that difference. So the extra little bit on the end on this pipe works out to the exact amount of the spacer that we made right there. But this one is the regular polarity of our pipes, so one side won't connect and one side will. Alright, so now there's a little extra bit of distance in there because of the spacer. But essentially, you know, now we're ready. You know, now that we have the breakdown of all these different pipes and how we can build them, we're ready to actually expand on it and, you know, have a little fun with it. So there we go, guys. That's it for today. I appreciate you tuning back in, and hopefully you got something out of it and you understand the reason for making the reverse polarity spacers. So essentially, now we have the ability to connect on one side and then connect on both sides. So when we want to connect two joints together, we can change the polarity of this, because right now all the joints on this are running the same direction. This allows us to reverse that direction then, and then we can turn around another piece and have that piece connect to it. So now that's just the regular direction we have. If you took this out of here, we could basically connect on, and that would be the end of one. So alright, guys, well, there we have it. Appreciate you tuning back in today. Hopefully you got something out of the video. If you did, tune back regularly, and we're going to be doing lots more of these type of videos.